Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Well, here it is. This is what you've been waiting for. The DJI MAVIC 2 Pro flight test. Fair warning, this is going to be a long one. I've got 3 charged batteries. We're going to do as many options as we can in this flight test. It's going to be super in-depth, so hang in there. It's going to be long. So sit back, relax, and let's get started with the MAVIC 2 Pro flight test. Let's do it. Okay, so basically you can see all I really have to carry, like if you wanted to be super portable. Of course, I did need to bring my iPad. I'm going to be using my iPad today since the Android just has problems. I have a special mount, and then I have the sunshade, my launch pad, and then of course you can see how small everything is here. All the stuff in the Flymore combo. This is the Flymore kit for the MAVIC 2. If you missed my other reviews on this, I have an unboxing of the MAVIC 2 Pro and also an unboxing of the Flymore kit, so check those out. Links in the description, and also I'll have a card pop here up here to some of those videos in that playlist. Anyway, so we want to get started, and so we're going to kind of be timing this for setup. I'm just going to take everything out I need real quick, so it's pretty in-depth, just so you know how long it takes to set this thing up. So opening up the Flymore bag here, I already have a SD card in the craft itself, so just opening up the legs, and we want to take off, of course, this gimbal guard and camera guard. So you just pop this open, pull it out, and there we go. First thing we want to do is just make sure our camera is super clear, there's no issues with it, and there's no rubbish on it. So I'm just giving it a nice little wipe with my shirt, make sure that's super clean and clear. Of course, you probably want to use a cleaning cloth, but shirts seem to work well as long as they're clean. You might hear some wind. I'm getting some wind from this direction at about 5 miles per hour right now, variable. And what I like to do too on these guys is just clear the sensors. Like, I'm going to wipe all the sensors with my shirt if I see any fingerprints on the sensors, just because we're going to be doing some active tracking sensor testing too, and I want to make sure they're all going to work, so I'm going to clear them. And these are, sorry guys, these are actually LEDs. I think I mentioned these might be other sensors in my unboxing, but they're actually LEDs, and I have my controller set so you can turn those on and off for landing, or if it's low light, they should automatically come on. Setting this guy down, looks like this camera is going to clear here in the grass, so it's got a pretty good high enough stance for some grass and a landing pad like this. I want to take out the controller. I got my iPad cable, and that's really all we need right now. So I'm going to put this bag on the side, and then of course this is going to be my adapter to use the iPad on the controller. Oh, this thing's pretty cool. I'll also have the link for this in the description down below the video, but it's super compact, and all it is a little adapter. You can see it here. This part's aluminum, and these tabs pull out, and it kind of makes this ball, and then you loosen this and you stick this on the kind of joint ball here and screw it in, and then you actually clamp this to where your phone would have clamped in the controller, and we'll go over through that really quick with you guys. So just opening up the antennas, and this is pretty cool. Oh yeah, we have to put our joysticks on first, remember, just like the Mavic Air, we have our little removable joysticks, so make sure you pull those out, put those guys on, screw them on fairly tight, push it in to where your phone goes, nice and sturdy, aluminum clamp, and that's in there really tight. This actually works very well and holds the iPad perfectly. Okay, so probably what I want to do is spin this around so that my iPad is a little bit more down towards the bottom, because we don't want to interfere with the antennas too much. By the way guys, I will be recording the iPad for you guys too, so you can see what I'm seeing on the DJI Go 4 control app. You know what I mean? The user interface. You can see all that stuff. So there's the sunshade. Tops in, pull the bottom down so it's fairly centered, and look at that. So we have an iPad, and of course if you want to move this around, you can tighten or loosen this ball joint here with this collar. If this thing starts moving on you, just give it a good crank. So we have good clearance from our antennas, so we're not going to interfere with those, and we can see everything good. The only thing about using the iPad is you're kind of covering up the controls, so it's going to be kind of hard to see your hands. So if you're a beginner, You may not want to use something like this because it might get in the way. If you want to see your hands, I'd recommend just using a phone or a smaller device to start with. Plugging in this iPad cable to the USB on the bottom. Now what I've done is I completely removed this cable here. I don't think they're going to both work at the same time, so I just took this out because for the time being I'm just using the iPad. Plugging into the iPad right in that little port, and that's ready to go. I'm just going to open up these propellers. You don't really have to, but it's for good measure just to keep the motors from vibrating unnecessarily on power up. And we're just going to do a press and hold. Look at the camera real fast. Make sure that thing, wow, they slowed it down. Look at that. I just did an update last night. And if you remember my first couple of videos or my first unboxing video, the camera was slamming, trying to calibrate itself for its initialization, but now they slowed that down, so that's great. Okay, so what I should have done was start my controller first, but it doesn't really matter. As long as you don't take too long to connect your drone. I've found that it's not really a big deal if you turn on your controller second. Some people will probably disagree with me, but from what I've found, it doesn't really matter. Got the recorder going so you guys are gonna see my screen. All I need to do is start my DJI Go 4 app. So I'm just clicking on it here. I've already kind of calibrated outside in my house. It's super simple. So you can see on the screen, it's checking firmware version and info. And we just want to let it do this until it gives us a latest version, which it just did there on the top of the screen. You saw that. So everything's updated, good to go. So we're ready to just start the flight. So I'm going to click on start flight here. And I do have cell network on this iPad, so it's just pulling the cellular data in. You can also cache the map, preload it if you want to, like if you don't have cellular data on your device. You can like go zoom around and cache the map image if you wanted to, but you see that gives us a nice streamed in map from my cell coverage. So we're just going to start off. If you see the switch here, it's tripods all the way down, position hold is in the middle, and then sport mode's at the top. We're going to try all these. I'm just going to start off in position hold, which is the middle, and we want to start recording. Again, this is going to be in 4K, and I'll have that up on the screen with the flight. And we want to launch. We can either launch like this by pressing the launch button on the iPad, or I could have just bring both sticks down and in or down and out to start the motors and launch manually. And what I noticed about this one is it doesn't have any precision takeoff and landing, which is kind of unfortunate. Remember the Mavic Pro original had that option where you could check it and it would land, as long as you had something contrasting your environment, it would land like pinpoint spot on as long as you went up like 30 feet. So I'm not seeing that for this one. And we're gonna see how close it lands to its home position when we come back. So let's take off, sliding. There we go. Nice and easy launch. And now we can hear the audible beeps. You hear that? So it's just detecting me from the back. You see how when I move out of the way, it kind of goes off. So really just barely any wind coming from this direction right now. So it's just sitting there perfectly, hovering. Let's just let it hover for a sec. It looks like it launched up to 3.6 feet. I think it's supposed to be around 4 feet at launch. And keep in mind, when we're in position hold, you see the side sensor. Look at that. There's nothing working. So you have to be in tripod mode for the side sensors to work, or an active track. So a little bit of a con there. I would have liked to see those side sensors work for just normal flying, because they look like they're pretty much the same cameras as the ones in the front and the back. So perhaps maybe they can do an update to allow you to have those side sensors working when you're in those other modes. And that goes for the top too. I believe it only works, that one sensor on the top, I think it only works in tripod and possibly return to home when it's going up, and then active track. So we're going to test all that today if we can, if we have enough battery power. So just letting it hover, I'm going to bring it up a little higher to eye level. Right there. Look at that thing just locking its position. I haven't touched it except for that little bit of altitude there. And this thing is amazing. So there I am. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in and watching us today. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. And we can hear the beeping. I'm going to turn this down on the iPad. Can get a little bit annoying. So again, that's the sensors. Of course, you can turn those off if you wanted to. But, you know, just since we're testing all this, I'm going to leave them on and leave a little bit of audio beep so we can hear it. So there's the 4K camera on the screen. And of course the right roller, if we roll it to the right, you see how it's brightening that up? There we go, we can see it in the Mavic 2 camera. See how it's brightening it up? So that's the exposure, and I'm pushing it to the left. And we can see that it's darkening it a little bit. So you can adjust that on the fly. Here's our gimbal, down and up on this left trigger here, this left roller. And we can also see the readout on the screen of how many feet the obstacle is in front of us. So pretty cool. So I guess what we'll start off with is just looking at it hover. Actually, I want to get a little bit of an inspection here close up with my hat cam. There's some wind coming at it. You can see it trying to fight the wind a little bit. I'm going to walk around and just see how stable it can maintain while we walk around. And it's just, I mean, it's perfectly just hovering right over its launch point. DJI is really good at doing that. So you can see as I kind of come in the rear view, it's picking me up and it's showing me the footage on the rear sensors for an alert. So looking really good. Awesome. So what we'll do, since we're down here low, is we'll start off with some obstacle avoidance tests. And remember, this thing also has APAS. So if you turn APAS on the left there, we'll do that in a second, on the left bottom of my iPad screen. If you go forward, it'll try to calculate a path around the object, and it'll go around the object while you're just pressing forward. So let's just try some obstacle avoidance in regular position hold mode. So I'm going full stick forward now. Boom. It just stopped, and then it really stopped when it got about 10 feet away from me, and you can see it just back off right away. So pretty cool. So we'll back up a little bit. We'll try to do that same thing with the rear obstacle avoidance. So we're going to spin it around. This is full stick left in P mode. And so what we'll do is we'll go just directly back at me and see how it stops. Yep, so it worked great. So now it's stopped at about 8 feet from me, so it's looking good. And all the while you guys will be seeing the 4K footage and seeing how it's dealing with, the gimbal's dealing with that hard stopping and stuff. Let's try to go with the APAS now. Since we're down here, I'm going to click on APAS. Now APAS is enabled. Now if I do the same thing, watch what it does. It's going to try to find a route, hopefully, around me. So full stick forward. It turned to the right, but then it actually stopped when it got a little too close. And I pushed again, and there it goes, right beside me. And that was with no side-to-side input at all from me. Let's see if it does the same thing when I come back at me. Okay, so this is going to be using those 2 cameras, and right away it just found a route around me. Let me go a little bit farther back, or away from it, because it looked like it was already calculating right when I pushed back. So I'll just go from that far away. We're already 70 feet away, so I'm going to pull back. I'm just pulling straight back. It's going up, so it chose to go up and over on its own. So the APAS is working really well. Really impressed with that. I did test it at home also. By the way, guys, this is the second battery charge on all these batteries. So you won't get the full potential of the batteries until you have about 10 uses of the battery. So I'm just gonna throw the flight time up there at the end anyway, so you guys kind of know what to expect on the second battery charge. Okay, so what do we want to do? We want to test some other things here. We want to see how fast it's going to go up in P mode. Full throttle up. While it's doing that, let me just rotate to the West Maui Mountains. So what is our speed? 8.9, about 9 miles per hour. You see that there? And there's the camera. You'll be seeing that on the 4K to see how that's dealing with vibration. Let's pull the stick all the way down. So this is full throttle down in P mode, and it's going a little slower, 6.5 miles per hour. And we're watching for any kind of jello in the video or any rotation. I'm just yawing a little bit to the left so you can get that mountain in view. Pulling all the way down. And there we go. So that's its maximum descent speed, 6.5 about. Holding down. It's slowed down. I'm still holding down. Nice. I just let go. So it's really good at just slowing way down before it hits the ground, even if you have the throttle all the way down. So what happens, let me just try this real quick. Say I want to just pull down to land, but I want to cancel it. Pulling down, pushing up to cancel. You see how it went in its landing check mode? And you can still cancel it, no problem. Again, that's how I lost my first Mavic in that waterfall pond I'm still looking for. Got some new subs to test it, so maybe we'll find it this time. I got an awesome sub with a grabber arm on it. And I'm going to test that pretty soon at that pond to see if we can find the Mavic and maybe pull it up with the grabber arm. That'll be pretty cool, huh? Anyway, still testing this thing. So we want to do full forward speed. There we go, into the wind. Just flying full forward. That's full yaw while I'm flying forward. What's our speed? About 16 miles per hour, 17. I'm full stick forward and I'm just turning all the way. Nice. Let's see if I do this and I go right into me. It turned, it started to turn on its own, but oh, and there it goes again. I was just holding forward still. So it kind of stopped because it was going too fast to really calculate, and then it calculated. Whoa, there we go again. Full throttle forward, still holding forward. And it chose to go around me. Okay, good. So they really did update that and it's working well. Before with the Mavic Air, I had to stop and then push again to make APAS work. So APAS is working awesome. I'm gonna turn off APAS for now because those were the speeds in APAS. Let's try again with APAS off, full throttle up. Same speed up, full throttle down. Same speed down. I'm curious to know its flying speed though. So I'm gonna go full throttle forward. Remember it was about 17 miles per hour. Whoa, now it's going way faster. I'm gonna have to pick it up now. Let's go out that way, see how fast it goes. Yeah, we're going way faster now. Look at this, 28, about 30. Yeah, just about 30, a little over 30. So in APAS mode, you're only gonna get about 17. And with APAS off, still in P mode, you're gonna get about 30. So, working really well. Let's come on back. Meanwhile, checking out this video. Cool, huh? Okay, come on down, full throttle down. That's pretty fast. Imagine, let's switch into sport mode now and see how this thing's gonna work. Camera up. And keep in mind, guys, this thing has, the pitch can go up higher than level. Watch this. So almost kind of like the Nafi a little bit. Let me get closer to that so you guys can see the camera. So if you do drive the pitch up, look at that. So it's high enough to where, look at this thing just sticking in the air too. Look at that, it's so stable, unbelievable. And you hear how quiet it is too? Very low decibel level, like a low tone to it. So you're not getting that really whiny high tone. It still does, you know, have some sound, but amazing how quiet they're making these things. You can't really hear it, you know, more than 50, 60 feet away unless there's really wind or you're really booking it. But check out the camera. So I have it pointed up at the clouds and you can see that it's not getting the nose in view, and that's as far up as it can go. And then if you're up and you lost like your level, of course you can move the camera around with your finger, but you can also do this little joystick button. I'm not sure if you can see it. You see that right joystick by the monitor? If I pull that joystick down, it's like a 3-way joystick or 4-way. If I pull it down, check it out, straight to the ground, pull it down again, straight to level. So that's a quick way to get up and down. Doesn't look like you can put that function on the C button anymore. Anyway, still recording. We want to go into sport mode now. I guess this first battery will just be for like normal flying. And you see how the obstacle avoidance went off? So keep in mind, sport mode, no obstacle avoidance, so be very careful. It'll run into things easily because it's just too fast for the sensors. So we'll go up and we'll just do sport mode like straight out this way. Ready, set, go. That thing's booking. Let's see how fast it gets up to. 40. Yep, 40 miles per hour. Now I'm going to turn right while I'm still full stick forward and come back. All right, 40. Now we're kind of fighting the wind a little, and it's going even faster. 45. All right, so just over 45 is as fast as I can get it going. All the meanwhile, we're watching that camera, right? The 4K, seeing how it was doing. Let's come on down. Let's do some quick runs and get that camera back up. Again, we can just press this button to get our level. So let's do some full throttle sport mode passes. There's full throttle. Look at that thing, amazing. Let me back up a little bit, and I want you guys to see it just stop right in front of me and see how long it takes to stop. So full throttle forward and letting off now. You saw how it just pitched up, and it looks like it's gonna take about 35 feet. I let off right where I was, and so now it's 35 feet away. So it takes 35 feet to stop around there. It wasn't getting up to its full speed. Let's try this again. Let's go a little closer. A little closer down. Full throttle, letting off. Wow, that thing's amazing. So sport mode just continues to impress. If you want to fly fast, you have that option. I'm gonna let off right now. Nice. You can see how that thing just pulls back, stops as fast as possible, while still maintaining its stability. You see how stable that was? And again, check out the stability on that 4K video while I've had that up. And you can see that the camera went down a little bit on its own and it stayed there. I didn't adjust the pitch until just then. When it's in sport mode, it's doing that so the propellers stay out of view. Let's try that again. Let's get the camera perfectly level. All right, let's go full throttle forward, stop, and let's see if we see any propellers or anything else in the view while we're in sport mode. So full throttle forward now. No propellers whatsoever. Awesome. Letting off the stick now. Still no propellers whatsoever. And check out the stability on that video. I'll have that up on the screen in the 4K. Okay. Full throttle forward again. No propellers in view, even though it's cranked full on forward. Wow. It's just so fast. Okay, I think that's enough with sport mode, guys. Awesome. Let's get close to the ground. One more pass in sport mode. Super close to the ground. I want to see if it loses height and crashes into the ground. Here we go. Full stick forward. Wow. Let's do a low pass right into us or next to us. Full stick forward. Look at that. Just hugging the ground like crazy. Awesome. Looking really good. So you see that camera, so it did take it down just a tad. You can see that's not quite level anymore. Again, just to get the stuff out of the view of the camera when we're in sport mode. So I want to get that back to level. I'm going to push the joystick again. Now that's perfectly level. Okay, so we got 37% power left. What else do we want to do with this battery? Well, there's the yaw in sport mode. While it's yawing, let's go down to P mode. Whoa, so you're probably getting dizzy from the iPad screen in the video. Now we're gonna go down to P mode and watch the difference. Wow, so look at that. P mode, huge difference in rotation speed. And now the sensors are back on. You can see the rear and the front acknowledging me. Now watch tripod mode. Down to tripod with this little switch again. Look how slow that is. So that's for super still and cinematic video. So before we eat up this battery, now we can try some stuff with tripod. So pulling back in tripod mode, I want to get away from me a ways. And then we're going to go full stick forward. And this is its maximum speed in tripod, by the way. 2, maybe 3 miles per hour. It's detecting me and it's stopped. Remember, this isn't an APAS mode, so it won't go around me. So let's try rear sensors. Let's go away here. I'm wondering why it's not giving me an acknowledgement on the side sensors. That's interesting. We'll have to test that in just a second. It was at the house. So anyway, away from me, let's try rear sensors in tripod. So full stick back. Detected me, and it's just gonna stop. I wanna try these side sensors. See what happens. So pulling into me sideways. Nope, that's not working. Interesting. That worked at my house before the update. Let me just go into the sensors and make sure the sideways is on. Obstacle avoidance is all enabled. Advanced settings. Interesting. Well, maybe we'll try go back into P mode. Let me close this. And then we'll go back down into tripod mode. I'll just step back a little bit. Switch to tripod mode. Now let's try to see if it sees me in the sensors. There we go. Okay, so note to self, and you can see the little graphic on the left there. It's showing that it has a side obstacle. So note to self, if they're not working, you may want to switch in and out of tripod mode. Again, those sensors do not work in P mode or sport mode. So remember that. Unless you're doing follow me. So you see that side sensor, it just stopped. Only was working in tripod mode for normal flying. So that's working very well. Let's see if we go and turn on, okay, we can't turn on APAS, I'm sorry. Can't turn on APAS in tripod mode because it's flying so slow anyway, I guess. Only in P mode, okay? So I'm gonna go up, this is full throttle up in tripod mode, guys. 2 miles per hour, okay? Again, looking at, now I'm yawing just slowly to the right, looking at what kind of footage we can get in manual mode. Again, this is 4K, 30 frames per second on the Mavic 2 Pro camera. Okay. And let's do the same thing but down. I'm going to turn a little more to the right. This is full yaw to the right, FYI. Full yaw to the left, that's how fast it's going. Just looking at my iPad screen. Coming down full throttle, 2 miles per hour down, so very slow, and I'm going to yaw to the left. So you can get some nice manual shots. If you're a good manual flyer and you can have a kind of a steady thumb, no problem, you can do this. Okay? So just turning around and all the way down. I'm holding down still. Oh, I don't want to land. So it won't completely stop. If you continue to hold, it'll slow really far down and then it will try to do its landing, final landing, and you can bypass that. So that's great. I'm just going to designate this first battery for testing manual flight modes. I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's go over to this tree and see how these sensors work. So really want to see how it handles this tree. As you can see, we're going very slow. We've already got a low percentage, 15. But I just want to try to run into this tree before we start. Slap in other battery, and we're going to start some of the smart functions like follow me and all that stuff with the second battery. So flying into the tree, let's see if it stops. Detected it. Yeah, look at that, it stopped. Should I try sideways? Should I try it? That would be a good test, wouldn't it? Let's try sideways. See what happens. We're getting close, and it's not even showing up on the side sensor. Let's try one more time. Don't hit the tree. Oh my gosh. Look at that. It's super close. Yeah, so I don't want to like just trash it in the tree. I might go a little bit closer just to try. Yeah, nothing's happening. So keep in mind, a little bit weird for the tree. Okay, so it's going to want to land. You see, now it's going down on its own. And I can push the throttle up and it will go up. But this is, you don't want to get your batteries much lower than this. So I guess we'll do a return to home with the next one, because I wasn't far enough away for it to do a automatic return to home. So I'm just going to do a manual landing here. I'm pulling down. Okay, so it's saying, it's asking me if I want to continue landing. So I could slide to say yes, force, But if I wanted to get a little more precision, I can press cancel and I can bring it down lower, I believe. Wow, it's not even going down. Let's see if I hold it. There we go. And then I can kind of control it and land right on the spot I want to. So we exhausted that battery to 5%. I better turn this thing off. So let's stop recording. Hopefully no damage to the battery. I think it should be okay. DJI puts a lot of reserve into these things. So what I'll do is I'll pop another battery in and we're gonna go into all the smart mode functions, guys, and see how it follows us, see how it does circle around point and all that stuff. This time I'm gonna take off like a manual launch. So I'm gonna pull both sticks down and in until the propellers start up. There we go. See how they started up. And I'm just gonna throttle up slowly. There we go. So bring it to eye height here. Whoa, is that our camera? Our camera's like super blurry, isn't it? What in the world happened? Interesting. It's like our focus went way out of whack. There we go. So I just clicked on my face and that came into focus. I guess autofocus wasn't working too well. Let's see if it kind of autofocuses. You can also press the left C button and you see how it's auto-focusing. Okay, so it looked like it just wasn't auto-focusing for a second. All right, so we should be good to go, guys. So let's try some of these advanced functions. And what we want to do is, let's get up. I think these are limited to 3 meters. So we'll kind of get up just to around like 10 feet, 15 feet. Okay, so tracking subject is me, hello. And let's try some of these advanced features. So we'll go into the controller here and let's just start from left to right. So there's hyperlapse. If I go into hyperlapse, oh, okay, so it can't do hyperlapse if you're recording a video. So you press OK to stop. We can do free, circle, course lock, or waypoint. Cool. So what that is it's just like a hyperlapse on a regular camera, like a GoPro, where it takes a picture every certain amount of seconds. So let's try the free one. So you can just fly, you set it up to how you want, and you fly normally, and it's just gonna take those hyperlapse pictures. So I'm gonna press OK here. We can adjust our interval, we'll leave it there, and then we want our video length. So let's make it 5 seconds is fine for the demo. And all we gotta do is press go. So I'm just gonna start flying forward. Whoa, and it's super slow. I have full stick forward, and we're only going like we're in like tripod mode speed by default using this. So it's going to take 125 pictures to give us only 5 seconds of video. So you're going to have some time for this. So I'm going to stop here. I just let off the forward stick and I'm just going to X out on the left. Synthesizing video. So it's doing it on the fly and it's creating that video for you. So I'll have that up in the hyperlapse right now. Let's go to quick shot. Of course, all the same kind of quick shots for like the MAVIC has and all that stuff. Let's just try a droney real quick. Let's come in a little closer. And here we go. Wow, it's already like centered on me. And I just pressed the screen. It's counting down. I could press go first, but it just started automatically when I pressed myself. That's pretty cool. Counted down to 3. So this is a regular droney. Aloha, guys. And this is just with all the default settings. Of course, you can change all this stuff. Stopped recording when it reached its far length, and now it's just coming back on its own without recording. And I'll have had that droney up on the screen so you guys could see what it was all about. Okay, so it came right back, centered on its target. Excellent. And it stopped. Tap or drive box around subject. So it's back into that. So I'm going to press left on the droney icon again. And that gets us back into our menu on the bottom. Let's do a circle. We want to make sure we're high enough up, because who knows if it's gonna hit these trees, right? So we'll go about there and then we'll just press on the subject. Let's just draw a box this time. Boom, right there. And it's centered on us. And this time it's actually waiting for a go. I wonder if we click on it, if we don't have to do a go. Okay, yeah, I just clicked on it. And now it's going to do a circle. Let's see how that looks. So this is just an automated droney circle. And let's see what happens. So waving, hey, let's see if I adjust my exposure while it's doing this. Let's see if we can do this. Darkening it. Yes, we can. So if it's overexposed, you can modify this on the spot. Looks like it's a little overexposed. There we go. Again, 4K 30 frames per second, guys. And look how smooth that is. Not much wind. But man, DJI just does a great circle around point feature. You'll see how the video was there. So that's done. It just stops where it started. And let's go into Helix. This one's pretty cool. It goes out and around. So pressed on myself and it just started counting down and centered itself on its own. So awesome. Don't have to do anything. So it's gonna do a circle and it's gonna go out. And let's see how quality and stable this video is. Waving at it, it's going out. That's awesome. So we're pulling back, going up and going out all at the same time, and going sideways. And keep in mind, we can adjust these things by pressing on Helix again. Wow, that's really nice. I'm noticing that the camera picked up a little bit. You see how I'm not really centered? And now it recentered, and it looks like it's just gonna come home. So maybe a little bit of discrepancy there on its farthest back part of the Helix, how it lost center on me. And then it's gonna kind of come right back to where it left off. There we go. If we go in Helix and press that again, we can adjust the distance and direction. So we can go all the way up to, wow, 120 meters. So that'll be right around 400 feet it'll go to if you wanted it to. Awesome. Okay, so we'll do rocket now. This is always fun. This might be kind of funny, but I'm gonna lay down right here by my launch pad. Let's try it out. Okay, so if you're on the beach or whatever you're doing, let's go to 50 meters. So that's all we can do is distance. Okay? So let's see if we just press on ourselves here and lay down. It's just gonna start going. It's kind of going over me and up. That's all it's doing. Really cool. Aloha! Wish I was on the beach. I'll be on the beach tomorrow, testing out an underwater scooter with the kids. That'll be fun. It's like a scooter you can just hold on to and it pulls you around in the ocean. And you can mount a GoPro on the front of it. So we're gonna be family day at the beach and testing that out. Anyway, there we go. So quick shot has ended and the aircraft is coming back. So you can get up by now because it's not recording anymore. I'm gonna get up and let's let it come right back down. Let's see how kind of close it gets to us, if it's right overhead. No, it's going back to right where it started. That's awesome. So now we'll do boomerang, and this one kind of goes around and out and then comes back. Let's go on the boomerang settings, choose direction. Looks like that's all we can do. So no distance here, apparently. So I'm just gonna press on myself and let's see what happens. Counting down, centering on its own, and let's see what the boomerang does. Okay, and then let it do its thing. I'm just gonna keep facing this way and we'll see what it does. Yeah, so see how it kind of went out, went around, and now it's just coming back. Let's try to do it a little bit closer. So pulling down. If you wanted to do like a closer boomerang shot, let's see how that works. So camera up, manually. Let's go right in here, right into my face here, and then press on it. Wow, so you can do boomerang pretty close. So there we go, boomerang starting. All right, thanks for joining me today, guys, on this test. So I hope it doesn't hit that tree. That should be okay. So that's the boomerang. Just making a boomerang motion. Cool. So you can get some cool shots. Just definitely be careful, you know, of your surroundings, because I don't think the side sensors are going to work for that. It says only for follow me mode. So be careful of your surroundings on all this stuff, guys. Okay, last thing, Asteroid. What are we, 52%? Wow, we're just breezing through all these functions. So this is cool. It's like the little planet thing where, okay, we'll go right here. We'll go super close up and we'll just click on the subject. It's centering on its own and it's going on its own. If we just do a click, and there we go. So this is gonna pull out, and then when it gets to its highest point of asteroid, it's gonna take a series of pictures to make like a sphere, and it's going to stitch them all together on its own in the app. It's pretty cool. Coming on back in, and it's going to stop right where we left off. Awesome. So we did all the quick shots. Let's try a point of interest, and then we'll go into the active track and tap fly and stuff. And this is pretty cool. They upgraded this so you don't have to fly over it. Check this out. You no longer have to fly right above the point of interest. Say we want to just go way out here and we line up our shot. This is awesome. So you have to make that box a little larger the farther you go out. So we'll do go here. So it said don't operate it while it's calculating. So it did its calculating using the triangulation of GPS and probably some of the sensors and camera to really detect yourself or detect the object. So that's really amazing. Oh, it's not even recording. So I'm gonna start recording. Don't forget to start your 4K recording again if you've done some of those selfie functions. So I can go up and I can pull back and watch the camera adjust on its own. So you see this, I'm going pretty high and I'm just going way far back and still doing its rotation. Okay, a bunch of people are commenting on my YouTube channel. Hello? I thought I turned the notifications off on this, but I guess not. So you're gonna see these notifications, sorry. What if I roll faster to the left? So I'm pushing the control stick all the way to the left. And let's see how good it is in a little bit of wind at 91 feet high. The wind's kind of coming at my back now. I have the roll stick all the way to the left. So this is its maximum speed and point of interest. Doing amazingly well. You guys can judge for yourself how that 4K video looks. And of course we can pull back and we can go up. If we use the yaw, let's try yaw to the right. Let's let it kind of slow down and keep going. I just let off the stick. So now it's in its slowest rotation. If I yaw to the right, boom, it just canceled the whole mode. Did it cancel it? No, it's still going. Okay, so you can yaw and it will still go. You just lose your subject. Let's see if we click on, that just auto focuses. Let's see if we draw a square. Nope. So once you move your yaw, you kind of lose your subject and you have to, you can't like refocus until you start the whole point of interest again. So that's enough for me on that. That's pretty awesome. I'm gonna stop it with that X. Come down and in, close up. We've got 29% left on our battery power. And we're gonna figure out what else we wanna do. Coming in hot. Let's try tap fly, and then I guess for the last battery, we're gonna do the active track and we're gonna go into these trees back here and see if it runs into them. I'm gonna be kind of risky and do that. The wind's coming up, see my shirt there. Forward tap fly, let's just tap right there. Go. So I don't know if it's gonna do obstacle avoidance. Hopefully it doesn't hit that pole there. I'm gonna turn it real quick if it does, if it seems like it's gonna hit it. What's it gonna do? Wow, it's using A-Pass. Look at that, avoiding obstacle. Let's see if it avoids this tree. Wow, avoiding obstacle. Oh, it stopped. It couldn't do it on its own, so I'm gonna get out of here. That was pretty cool though. In A-Pass, it will avoid those obstacles. Now let's get out of here. You see how it's flying incredibly slow in manual because it's in this mode. I'm full stick forward and this is how fast it's flying. Okay, let's try this again. So we did forward, that was pretty cool. Let's try reverse. Wow, this is spooky. I wanna go so I have the downhill side to the drone's back. So reverse, I'm just gonna tap on myself and see what it does. Go. Okay, so kind of like a selfie shot. And it's going up. I want to go back so it will return to home. right where I launched from. Please, yes, okay, good. So tap fly worked good. The reverse tap fly is basically you just tap on the subject you want and it'll go back. There was also a free one there, which looks like you can just go wherever you want, I guess. I didn't really try that, but it's pretty self-explanatory. So this is my return to home altitude. It's gonna go up to my preset in the settings. I think I have it at 50 meters. It's going up to 162 feet. And then it's gonna come back. Let me tilt the camera all the way down. And let's see how this grass looks. There we go. Now let's see really how close it lands on that H. Okay, so we're still in P mode. It's returning to home. All sensors are off right now. You see on the top, it has them all off for landing. They're going to be on to avoid obstacles on its horizontal track home, but it looks like it turns them off when it's coming down. So let's see what it does and see how close it gets. Remember, this doesn't have the precision landing, so it's probably not going to be quite as accurate. You see how it's not really adjusting itself? Look at this. Wow. What happened, DJI? This thing's so expensive, but you took off the precision landing. I'm going to pull the camera back up. And you see how it says, do you want to land? Right there. And look how far away that is. Let me just get the camera back. Let me just count footage. 1, 2, 3, 4. Man, this is like 6 or 7 feet away from the landing position. So not suitable for landing. I'm going to bring it on back over to the landing pad manually. So it won't let you go lower when it's in its landing mode. You see how I'm pressing the stick down quickly and nothing's happening. So you're gonna have to hold the stick down or just say slide to land and it will go down. You can still adjust it. You see how I'm moving it back and forth? Okay, well, then it's gonna go down. It has like a second tier. You can move it around. And then if you're really bad at landing, move it around to center it and then slide again. And there we go. I could have manually made it a little closer, but that's it. So kind of disappointing, guys, on the return to home accuracy on this thing. You would think that it would have a much better precision landing, or keep that precision landing the Pro had, and also even the Mavic Air had that. So if they can maybe update that, I mean, it's got amazing downward cameras on it, but apparently that's not working right now. So I'm gonna pop in the last battery. We're gonna do a full-on in-depth active track. I'm gonna walk through trees. If it hits the tree, it hits the tree. This is what we're doing on this test. Okay guys, so if you've stuck around for this long, congratulations, because this is gonna be over an hour video, but probably as in-depth of a video you've seen for the Mavic Pro 2 to date, and it takes a long time to test out all these things. I could of course split it up into multiple videos, but with YouTube nowadays you can pause where you left off, you can start again, and you can fast forward if you want to. So I just like to make these in-depth reviews. But anyway, got the new last and final third battery in here. It's fully charged, and I will say from the first battery it heated up a little bit because the sun was blasting and there wasn't much wind. But with that second battery, immediately after I flew it, it's much cooler because there's really no sun right now, and there's some clouds, and there's a little bit more wind now, and it's nice and cool. So this thing just didn't heat up at all. I was curious to know how this camera was doing, and after that second flight I just touched back here and nothing whatsoever. It's just like the ambient outside temperature. It's not hot at all. So they did a good job at cooling all this stuff. Anyway, let me boot this back up and let's take a trip into the trees with the active track and see if it crashes. Auto takeoff. Whoa. So that was weird. So while it was taking off, I switched into P mode and it did that. So don't do that. Don't switch modes when it's taking off, I guess. Let me land again here. That was really weird. Probably doesn't help that there's a couple of drops of water on it. That was a little bit strange. Let's try that again. So I'm gonna stay in P mode and let's try that launch again. Go, see what happens. Better. So note to self, don't switch modes when it's launching. That was pretty stupid. Anyway, we want to do active track, right? So we'll turn around and kind of face us here. We really want to make sure that these sensors are going to be working in active track. So we'll go back into the controller here. I should have everything recording. Oh, except for, of course, the video. So let's start 4K video again. Uh-oh, starting to rain. We better hurry the heck up. Let me brighten the exposure a little bit. You guys can see the picture a little better. There we go. And let's click on the controller and let's do active track. Okay, I click on myself. Aircraft too low. So this is where you have to pick it up a bit. Okay. And it looks like we have to manually kind of rotate the camera down. I'm going to draw a box around myself. There we go. Let's try from this height. Go. There we go. Okay, I saw the side sensors kick on. Look at the very top. You see the sensor green icon? The side sensors are on. Good to know. Let's do a little bit less exposure. Looks a little washed out from up here. And let's start walking. So let's walk into these trees. First, what we'll do is we'll just leave it. Is it gonna trace? Is it gonna follow? Yeah. So this is the basic trace and follow, where it's just locking me in. It's trying to keep its distance from me, all while turning and keeping me in center shot. So let's try to do some things where we can try to lose it first. I'm going to run towards it. Okay. So we're running at a good pace. It's doing pretty good. Let's juke to the right. Still getting notifications. I thought I turned off my notifications. Anyway, it's doing great. Let's go back. See if it'll follow me. Of course, the rain's probably not helping it. There's some raindrops, some big raindrops coming down. Let's go right at it again. All right, so good. So it's pretty good. Probably if I'm going too fast. I know that with the OcuSync, or not OcuSync, but Active Track 2, they made it be able to follow you faster. So let's get into these trees, guys. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna go back and pick it up a little bit. There we go. So you can do that while it's still in follow mode. You can position it how you want. Man, I hope the rain doesn't damage it. Oh, it looks like my car just ran out of space. You see there on the right of the screen. So I want to switch the card real fast. I'm going to land it. Sorry guys, I'm going to land this, put a new card in it, and we'll continue on. Man, it's starting to rain. Gosh. Okay, waterproof test. I want to see how close it'll land to its return to home. Since we might use up the battery too much to do return to home, I just want to do one now before I change that card. So we'll see how close it lands to the H again with the software launch. I like to give it a few times, you know what I mean, just to see how it's working. I don't know if you can hear that rain or see that rain, but it's starting to, it's not raining much, but there's big drops coming down and there's gray skies. Gosh, getting a little water on the controller. I hope it's okay. So that was a 32 gig micro SD card, guys. So just about 2 batteries worth is going to fill up a 32 gig card at 4K 30 frames per second, keep in mind. So coming down again, and we're a little closer this time. I don't want it to land right on the grass. It's going to land if I let it. I don't want it to land right there, so I'm going to go back on the, I canceled it by pushing up. I'll go back over the landing pad. I'm just holding down on the throttle and adjusting it. I'm just holding down until the props stop. Okay, let's change this SD card and get to our follow me test in the trees. Okay guys, so it just dumped on me, so it's actually probably a good thing my video card ran out on the drone. Otherwise I probably would have flown it, and it just kind of poured pretty hard and that might have damaged some equipment. So kind of a blessing in disguise that the video card ran out when it did. Since this is Active Track 2.0, it basically can track faster now, so that's pretty cool. So just gonna kind of see, you can see all the sensors are active there, and let's see what it does with this goalpost. Of course it's high enough, I guess it's not going to worry about it. Let's see if we kind of go through these trees. I want to kind of wait till this lady goes by. I don't want to run into anybody, so I'm just going to walk right underneath these trees here. Wow, so it actually did kind of come down. It went over that post. I just saw it descend a little bit, And this is going to be kind of cool because this is going to be up the hill and under some trees. So let's see what happens. It's sensing the branches. What's it going to do? Is it going to go down? Still following. Hopefully it's seeing what's above it too. This is a little bit scary, but it's still going slowly. Let's see if it can kind of, yeah, it's going down a little. Let's see if it can come underneath actually these branches right in front of it. This is going to get a little technical for it. Yeah, it's going down to avoid those. Amazing. So all those sensors are working and it's still coming up the hill and following me. That's great. So now I'm on the path. I'm going to go this way a little bit and then I'm going to go back under the trees and I'm going to kind of run down the trees underneath it and see what it does. So I want to give it some position here. You see how it's climbing to compensate for the grade. We're up on a hill here. That's pretty cool. Just making sure no people are around. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run down through these trees, this little cove. This is probably going to look pretty funny, but I just want to do it. All right, let's see what it does. So it's going to try to maintain its altitude. I'm going downhill now. Fun stuff. Yeah, it's still going. I can hear it kind of trying to figure out what to do. Oh, it just started coming at me really quick. Let's see if it knows what to do here. Okay, so it doesn't really know what to do. It's like, what do I do? Wow, is it gonna fly over? Okay, it lost track. Look at that. So it kind of knows where I am. There we go, regain track. I'm kind of peeking through the bushes, the branches. Come on, just try to go over, bud. Can you try to go over and retrack? Whoa, almost running into the goalpost. Come on, Mavic. Okay, so there's some limitations. Coming through the trees, still not good enough to do that. It knows where the last position of me was. Oh, look at this. Now it's trying to go down. Let's see if it can do it. Oh, it sees those branches. It wants to try to do it, but it's just not going low enough. When I came in, it dropped a little bit. Let's see if we'll just try to get under those branches. Come on. So, guys, active track just still isn't there yet for this kind of advanced following. Let's see if I go this way, what it does. Wow, it just dropped way down. Let's see if it'll do this. Come on. Under the trees. Just do it. There we go. Make sure I'm not going to run into anything. All right. Now let's kind of book it. There we go. Okay, so it made it under the trees on its own, but it would have lost me until I took another route, which was interesting because that was even a harder route. So I don't know what happened there. It's just the tracking just needs some work to be super effective. It's seeing these goalposts and it's going up and over. Oh, wow, look at that. It went under him. That's cool. Went under that big log, that big headboard of the goalpost on its own. That was really cool. So working pretty darn good, man. We'll try one last test. We still have 54% power. I'm gonna do one last test. What if I go forward, look at it backing up. Okay, let's try this. It's using those rear sensors, senses the goalpost. It's kind of adjusting its height a little bit. Let's see what happens if we go straight. Is it gonna hit the trees? Right here, just straight through. It's going down, very good. Awesome. I'm not touching any controls. It's seeing, look at that, the top sensor saw the tree branch. Look how low it got. It got just a few feet from the ground. So that worked even better from reverse. So coming downhill, it looks like it has a problem. I'm just gonna go right here and just run. I'm not even gonna look back. I'm just gonna run down these trees. See what it does. It's calming down. Nice. It's thinking. Look at this. Good job. That was awesome. Okay. So it's all these sensors are working great in follow me. Just certain weird conditions. Let's go back under this post. It's scanning, it's looking at it. It's gonna go up a little to clear it. Amazing. So really good job on Active Track 2.0 Phantom 4 Pro. I did a tree test and it was having trouble. I don't think I've ever done a tree test like that before, but that really worked well. So I'm really satisfied with this Active Track, and I'll have that all on video. My hat cam and also the 4K, you can see how stable that was. Sorry, I'm kind of out of breath, but now let's see, we still got 45% power left. I'm gonna get out of this mode. Whew, breathing hard here. Need to work on my cardio, like everybody says. I know. Okay, we do have some more features here actually. So maybe we'll do a couple more. We have profile follow. So all this is gonna do, it's gonna lock itself in. It's heading. I gotta click on myself first. There we go. And so all this is gonna do is it's gonna lock its heading, and it's just gonna go sideways, back or forth. Just like it normally does. You know, to get that specific kind of shot. It's running to it, it's trying to keep its distance from me, backing up. So remember, it's not gonna turn its head. It's just gonna move sideways and back and forth. Good. That's working great. So the Active Track works really good. We tried all these things already except for cinematic mode. Look at that. We got one more thing on the bottom. So clicking on cinematic mode, here comes the sun. So here's cinematic mode. Okay, wow. Definitely faster than tripod actually, I take that back. So my forward flight and my roll is much faster, but my yaw, look at this. My yaw is incredibly slow. So if you want to do fast moving, smooth cinematic shots, let's just try to do a cinematic mode, full throttle forward, and come up. This is manual cinematic mode. There we go, in 4K. I want to focus with my left trigger. Auto focus on the shoreline there. So I'm full throttle up and full forward. Looks like the side sensors are now off, of course. They only work in tripod, remember, and Active Track. Cool. All right, so we're gonna save another video for the range test. Thanks for sticking with me, guys. If you've managed to hang out this long, it's probably been over an hour. I want to do one last thing, and that's going to be going over to this skate park. This is the new skate park in Pukalani that they're almost done with, it looks like. And I'm going to try to do a point of interest. This would be a good test. Point of interest. Clicking on it. And we will make the box around the center of this park. Boom. And we're gonna go. So we have it going, is that counterclockwise? Okay, and it's moving. So I'm recording in 4K on the skate park, and what we're gonna do is we're just gonna do a kind of a slow up and pull out. So we can do kind of a cinematic shot. So I have a little bit of back on the pitch, so it's pulling out, and I also have a little bit of throttle up. It looks like it's a little washed out, so while it's doing that, I'm adjusting my exposure. You see that? So we're getting a cool, and also what I can do, check this out, I can roll to the right to speed it up. So I have a little bit of roll to the right, exposure a little bit more down. So I have roll to the right, I have back a little, and I have throttle up. So you can do some awesome manual point of interests without going over the point. That always kind of irritated me, where the initial point of interest where you had to fly right over the point, and it was kind of irritating, but this is great. It's really awesome. As long as you wait for it to kind of calculate where the center of the shot is, it should be fine. So I'm going to go full right and back and full throttle up now. And check this out. We'll see how good the video is on this. I'm just going to keep going. Okay, I want to stop because look at our height now. I'm already 429, so let's bring it down a little. It's gonna still, I went off the controls, but I'm just pulling down on the stick. Go right to 399. But it's still slowly rotating right on its default settings. You see that? So I'm gonna push full roll to the right again. And let's see how smooth the 4K video and everything is. While it's doing this, can I, oh, okay, it's gonna return home. So I'll just let it return home. I was gonna try to focus. Oh, I think I just canceled. Let me just click on it to focus. So that auto focused. So we'll go ahead and do a return to home. It looks like this is all done. Let's see what happens if we do a return to home while it's still in this mode. Slide to return to home. Let's see what happens. Interesting. Okay, it just canceled out of that mode and it's just returning to home now. Awesome. Okay, doing good. Gosh, if that's not the most in-depth review flight test you've ever seen, I don't know what is, guys. That's how I do my tests. They're super long, but you as the viewer, you have the option to pause it, come back, watch the rest on YouTube whenever you're ready. Cool. Looking good. So let's see how close it lands to that H this time. This is going to be, what, the third time? First time was kind of ridiculous, 7 feet away. Second time looked like within about 3 feet. And we'll see what the third time is. Looks like it's pretty darn close this time. We'll see. Any bees up there? Looks like there's something flying around it in the camera. Pull the camera back up. Oh yeah, again, remember. Joystick down again. Gets you centered in. Whoa, yeah, there are some bees. There's like 3 bees hanging around it. So I'm gonna stop this landing because it, again, look at that, there's a bee right under it, just hanging around. Into the grass. I don't want to get too close. Just go away, bee. Oh, he just got hit by the propeller. Anyway, so I stopped it from landing, and you can see how far it was again. 1, 2, about 3 or 4 feet. Still one bee hanging around. Oh, don't get chopped up, buddy. So we'll just get over the heli center and we'll pull down. Try to land. I can still move it around. Awesome. We only have 9% power left. Stopping recording. And there you have it, guys. All of its functions I think we tested. The active track was amazing, so they really improved that. Just had that one little glitch when I was coming downhill under those trees. It didn't know what to do, so it just stopped. Even going backwards, it was able to go under the trees and come up, coming up the hill. And it was using the APAS integrated with the active track and the side sensors and the top sensors. So that all stuff, that's remarkable. It's all working great. Really shouldn't be running the batteries this low. But I only do it once in a while just for these kinds of tests. So anyways, let's sit down, talk about a quick little pros and cons, and then we'll wrap it up. And then don't forget, the next video will be a range test. So what can we say about the Mavic 2 Pro? Again, I'll have had the video up. I'm not going to know how the video really looks. It looks smooth overall, but since I'm only seeing the iPad screen recorded, I can't really see the quality of the video while you guys are watching this. But so I'll let you judge for yourself how that video was. Still amazing. You see a little bit of bee splatter. Looks like I hit a couple. They were chasing it on the way down. Poor little bees. They attack this kind of stuff just because I don't know if they think they're trying to mate or attack it. I'm not sure which is which. Some people have said both. Great craft. The only disappointment really I have compared to the Mavic Pro is that precision landing. It's non-existent on this, and that kind of worries me, because if you're trying to get a coastal shot, and say you're on a coast on the edge of a cliff or on the edge of a shore, and there's really only one area you can get to, and say there's obstructions a couple feet away, you really want to have that precision landing. I'm not sure why this doesn't have it. Maybe it's the sensors they chose, or maybe it was sucking up too much power, or maybe it didn't really work as well as they thought it would, so they took it away, or maybe it's just going to be another update, hopefully, and we'll have some more precision. Because if you're coming home and like say, I don't know, who knows, the battery runs out of your controller and the thing has to come home and it's trying to land, it's just gonna sit there over the landing point, and then when the battery gets low enough, it's eventually gonna have to force land. And so if it's off of that point, say it's over in the lava rocks or water or over a baby stroller or something, and it just has to force land because the battery's gonna die, it's gonna hit something you don't want it to. So man, just really disappointed they took that away. Otherwise, the craft is phenomenal. Again, flight times for all 3 batteries. I'll have them one after the other up on the screen, 1, 2, 3. And that probably has to also do with something like, say, all sensors are off and maybe it's not recording any video, especially 4K video. Then you might get what they claim around 30 minutes. But as it is on normal flying, I'm only getting, I think, you'll see the numbers up here, but I only got 23 minutes at my house. So really just about the same as, if not less than the Mavic, the original Mavic Pro. So a little bit disappointing on the flight time. And then of course the precision landing. And those are the only 2 things I really had a problem with. Maybe the other one that's a slight nitpicky would be, why aren't the side obstacle avoidance sensors working in regular position hold mode, the GPS mode? Because if you can go fast in position hold rear and forward, you should be able to have those on the side. But I'm thinking maybe because there's only one, it doesn't really have that stereo optical avoidance or obstacle avoidance. So maybe that's why you can only be implemented, remember, in tripod mode or the follow me mode. The Hyperlapse was pretty cool. It's been around for a long time, but it's cool to have it on a drone to get some cool, especially some changing clouds formations and stuff. I'll have a video up of the one we just did, and also another one I took kind of in the evening on a sunset. Oh, I didn't test, these are actually LED lights on the bottom. And what I did was in the settings, you can make one of these triggers. You can actually make it to turn the lights on or off, or make them auto. And that's just for like nighttime landing, or if you're flying at night or in low light, you can trigger those on and off. Pretty cool. 2 high intensity LEDs right there on the bottom. Of course, it's gonna eat up some juice. Anyway guys, I hope you really enjoyed that video. Links again in the description down below if you want to check this thing out. Awesome. I'm also going to be reviewing the Zoom, the Mavic 2 Zoom, so check that video out. I'm going to go all through that one too. And also we're going to do range testing and cinematic video here on Maui. I live on Maui. We're going to do some shoreline, coastline shots and just see what kind of video we can get. I'm not like a super pro camera guy, so it'll give you an idea of how like a regular reviewer can get video with one of these premium type of drones. But awesome drone regardless. Again, links in the description, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.